Hey, this is C&D channel. I'm Chris. This is Dave, and this is MMA for you. We're going to be doing our predictions for UFC 155, which is going to happen on December 29th. What do you think of this card, man?
This card is awesome.
That's it.
Well, this card is really cool. I mean, dude, the main card, the print, it's just amazing. Let's just go to it. It's pretty amazing.
One thing that needs to be said, though, is that the co-main event was Forrest Griffin versus Phil Davis. Forrest Griffin is out with injury, and I don't know at this time if they will have a replacement for this fight. As of right now, it looks like a 4-fight main card. I'm sure like Liebman's fight or Pickett's fight would probably get bumped up, but I just don't know. So we have to call the fight card as it is seen so far.
And then if there's any change, you put a petition on the comment side.
Yeah, just on the comments, I'll put an update that will say our predictions there.
Absolutely. Except our audience cannot see we argue, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's get started. We got UFC heavyweight champion Junior Cigano dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez.
What you got?
You know what, man?
It's a tough fight.
This is a tough fight, 50-50, and
I agree with you.
Against better judgment. But I'm going with Cain Velasquez, man.
Well, Cain. I mean, I see why you're doing that, but I think Junior have a better chance.
He probably does, but I'm gonna say this right now, and it's to be consistent. And I said it in the post-fight show. With the first time they fought, I felt that Cain had ring rust. I felt that he was very flat when he fought Junior dos Santos the first time. He was coming off almost like a year layoff, coming off of surgery.
I
felt that he was a bit flat. I think that Junior is going to be hard to take down, especially in the first 2 rounds. I expect him to tire. I expect Velasquez to eventually outwork Junior dos Santos to a victory. I think he'll eventually use his wrestling to tire him out, and eventually he'll be able to get the takedowns and just outwork him. Who do you have?
Again, I'm with Junior dos Santos. What my projection is that Cain cannot outwork him. Cain's wrestling cannot tire him out. The reason I say that is Junior has a really good, takedown defense, and he gave out really quickly anyway. Yeah. I mean, but on the wrestling portion, I'm not too worried, especially the first time Cain is so flattered. I mean, my thing is about Junior is he stand out. I personally believe he's better than Cain.
No, I will agree with that. His footwork, his overall use of a jab.
His jab, strong jab, uppercut, I mean, one-punch KO power. I feel that if this stand up, Junior has the possibility to really have a great advantage on stand up. And then that's where I pick up Junior.
Okay, it's fair enough, actually.
This is a title fight?
This is a title fight. It is 5 rounds.
Wow.
So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, Junior dos Santos knocked him out in the first round the first time they fought. It's not inconceivable to think that Junior can win again. I just feel that Velasquez, I think we'll see a different fight here. I think we'll see something that'll go a little longer. Tough to say. I mean, tough
I agree with you, especially Junior has 2 weaknesses. He has a questionable cardio, and his hand is always low. But I just feel with his good takedown defense and the ability to get up so quickly, that wrestling portion I'm not too worried about. I really think his standout can really shine again. And uppercut, you have a KO power, and the uppercut is this serious. I feel that he can do it again.
Okay, man. Next fight after that, we have Tim the Barbarian Boetsch versus Costa Philippou.
I'm Barbarian, so I pick Barbarian.
Oh, you got the Barbarian? Okay. I got Costa Philippou. I'm high on that guy, man.
Oh, wow.
Why do you got Boetsch?
Well, because I like a Barbarian style. I like to, I don't like to bully people, but I like to bully people. I mean, come on, the redneck style.
Redneck judo.
Redneck judo,
Yes,
dude.
redneck judo.
That is so fun to see. I'm not saying that he won't win, but I definitely say it's gonna be a fun entertainment. He's gonna bully, you're gonna bully the opponent. You're gonna do all the sloppy punch and all that stuff. But I feel he can win just because he pushed forward. He has a good, kickbox and a very good offensive takedown.
I got Philippou in this one. This guy is on a really good win streak right now. It is a 4-fight win streak against, I'd argue, a progressively better competition. I'm impressed with this guy's hands. His boxing's crisp. He's really good. One thing I noticed in the Ricky Fukuda fight that showed like slow motions is that when he's in the pocket, he's able to throw combinations yet stay defensive. So he'll throw like some sort of 2-punch combination, pick his opponent's counter strike, and continue throwing combinations. Mm-hmm. He's really good at staying in the pocket and staying defensive in the pocket. He can pick, he can parry, he'll slip punches in the pocket. So he's really comfortable there.
I mean, that just made me worry, but I feel like, Boetsch's technique is very different. I mean, he is not normal clean card technique. It's just sloppy, booty type of, punch. I mean, for people who is straightforward, boxer or the kickboxer or, street MMA fighter, this is very different. And will this affect the opponent? I don't know, but I just thought this is going to be very fun to watch.
One thing with Boetsch is I can see him trying to get takedowns on Philippou. One thing that Philippou's takedown defense has improved. With Boetsch, he generally uses his size to really bully his opponents. One thing about Philippou, he's also huge for the weight class. So, I gotta go with Philippou. Trains at Cerro-Longo, guy who's coming up, good footwork, good boxing, good overall defense. Kind of concerned. I know he lost. I believe it was Nick Catone.
Or Nick Catone.
Yeah, and I think he was wrestled. So in a sense, Boetsch might be able to just take him down all day.
Again, now you mentioned that Boetsch, he used his body, he used his size, he used his weight, and he used his booty technique to take you down. Not necessarily 100% pure technique, but there's so much into it. I counting on that for him win this fight.
Cool. Next fight after that, we have Joe Lauzon versus Jim Miller.
This is a very tough fight, okay? I gotta say, I love Jim Miller. He's well-rounded guy, and he's pretty amazing. I always like him, but Joe, man, I have to pick him, dude.
Gotta pick him, huh?
I mean, I love the guy, and especially he is a submission specialist. His speech is just pretty damn crazy. I remember back in the day when we practiced BJJ, I always want to copy this guy.
You know what? I have Jim Miller here, man.
No doubt. I knew you were gonna pick him.
Yeah, his only losses have been to Benson Henderson, Frank Yeager, Gray Maynard, and Nate Diaz.
All the top guys.
Yeah, only top guys. Extremely well-rounded. Good kickboxing, good wrestling, good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, good cardio. I mean, he's just one of the more well-rounded fighters in the division, and I think that he'll be able to beat Joe Lauzon because, Lauzon, he's a finisher, man.
He's a finisher, and he's resilient as hell.
Yeah, he's really resilient. He's generally tough to finish himself. And his ground skills are really good. His first rounds are really amazing. The guy looks really good in the first round, and he does tend to fade in later rounds.
I know where you're gonna get at. Yes, he does have a questionable cardio, but again, he looks sharp, and if you question about his cardio, I think he will get his opponent tired as well. But again, it's Jim Miller. This is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next right after that, there's a lot of close fights here. Just by the way, Alan the Talent Belcher fights Yushin Thunder Okami.
As an Asian, I'm supposed to like Okami, but I don't.
What? Is it because he's Japanese and you're Korean?
Oh. That's not point out. Well, okay.
Or do you like Alan Belcher's tattoos?
I'm not gay. Jeez. if you read the freaking comments, somebody said I'm looking hot. Why am I gay, huh?
Huh?
And I think it's a bad thing, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Don't go there either, man. We respect everyone, man.
We respect everyone.
We respect everyone.
But anyway, I like him because the 4-5 winning streak. 9 KO, 7 sub. 28 years old, train a great gym.
Yeah, Rufus Sport, man.
I mean,
one of the best striking gyms.
He is really strong on kickboxing, good kick, strong on ground pound. I mean,
he beat Husamar Palhares with ground and pound, and Husamar rips people's legs off.
Exactly.
So.
And then the number one thing that I think people need to understand is he has an underrated BJJ.
Going back to the Palhares fight, I mean, he played footsies with Palhares and didn't get his leg ripped off, and ended up winning.
Nobody played footsie with your leg gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And he managed to ground pound, so that really showed me that he has what it takes. And then Yushin Okami is good, but he is not. His BJJ is not like over the top. So I think that Allen has a chance to stand with him.
Yeah, well, the thing that's interesting is this is actually a rematch from UFC 62.
62.
This is 155, so it goes to show how long it takes for rematches to happen sometimes. I gotta go with Okami here. He has good takedown defense. He has good overall offensive takedowns. He's trained with like Chael Sonnen and whatnot. He's always had good judo, and his boxing has shown to be a lot better. He uses a lot of straights, especially jabs and crosses.
I don't know, man. He trained with pillow fist.
Doesn't matter, man. Okami's not a one-hit type of guy, anyways. He's grinded before, and I think he can grind Belcher in this fight as well.
Well, Belcher, his kickboxing is pretty well, and he's pretty strong. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, staying out wise, I don't think Belcher is that bad.
No, not at all. I think he's better than Okami, to be honest.
I think as long as he can take in the wrestling on the ground, I actually think he can beat out Okami.
Okay, on to the prelim card. We have Chris the Crippler Leben fighting Carlos Vemela.
I pick Chris.
I pick Chris too. Yeah.
Chris Leben, man. Come on, Chris Leben. Do we even need to explain anything?
This is going to be a fun fight, but this is definitely the type of opponent that Chris Leben should be able to beat. Vemela is huge, so, for his weight class, he hits really hard. The guy used to be a heavyweight,
But dude, Chris Leben have a heavy hand anyway.
Yeah, he's kind of like, it's going to be like two bulls going at
It's going to be great to watch.
Both guys are heavy-handed. Both guys have some Leben has this legendary chin, and both are brawlers.
And Leben has the underrated grappling too.
It's really funny. You can see his fights against like Jay Silva, for example, where he takes him down and takes his back, or his takedown defense he showed against Aaron Simpson, or how he triangle choked Akiyama in the first.
Akiyama, man. Akiyama don't tapped up.
Yeah, Leben definitely has some really underrated grappling for sure.
So I think this fight is straight out Leben.
Cool. Next fight after that, this one I think is pretty equal as well. Brad, is it One Punch Pickett versus Eddie Wineland?
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. I'd say Eddie. Again, it can go either way. Why you think about Brad? Let's listen.
This is actually a tough one for me because stylistically, Eddie's got probably. I think he has the better striking technique than Pickett. Pickett can brawl. He has a really good chin, and he does have really good grappling actually. His he out wrestled flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson, of course. Eddie Wineland's a different type of guy. He's much bigger. His takedown defense is solid.
Again, Eddie has a good takedown defense, like you mentioned, and he also has a really good combination. That's why I like it.
He does. He beat Scott Jorgensen. He knocked out Scott Jorgensen, gave him his first knockout loss in his last fight. But Brad Pickett also knocked out Yves Jablin with a tiger uppercut, pretty much. his last fight as well.
So this is a very close fight, and another thing, Eddie he has lost by submission. So, but I don't know, man. I just feel this is close.
No, it is a really close fight. But yeah, I gotta go with Pickett here.
Okay.
Okay, next right after that, the returning Todd Duffy fights Philip the Fries.
I say Todd Duffy.
Oh, Todd Duffy, man. I love this kid, man.
Great to see him back.
Yeah, man. This guy has a record for one of the fastest KOs in UFC history.
It's
7 seconds.
Finisher, dude.
Yeah, 7. He has a second KO.
Dude, that's amazing, man. Who does similar second KO, dude?
Yeah, just the Korean Zombie, actually. Why are you doing this, man?
Koreans, you know?
Dude, you've been picking Korean Zombie correct all this time, man.
Because it's my guy, dude.
And Benson Henderson, by the way, because he won.
I know, right? Did you see that? I don't want to brag, but since you mentioned that. Okay, anyway.
He's actually part Korean too. There must be something about these Koreans. I guess.
Korean people were in kimchi and we are unbeatable. Anyway.
Okay.
But Todd, dude, I like the kid. He is heavy-handed. He uses his job right. Again, he is dangerous. Knockout power, KO, man.
Yeah. One thing about Duffy, despite losing to getting knocked out to Russo and Overeem. I mean, even if you watch the Russo fight, I mean, he was just picking them apart until that moment. I mean, he shows one thing that's really noticeable about Duffy. He's huge. This guy has a chiseled physique, but he moves really well for his size.
Yes.
Philip the Fries, not the best stand-up guy.
I don't think Phil has a chance, dude.
Yeah, if it gets to the ground, maybe. Duffy, actually, you don't get to see it too much, but if you watch watch the Russo fight, he actually defends all of his takedowns relatively easily.
Mm-hmm. So. And then again, it's not saying Philip is a much better, Guang, jiu-jitsu guy, or he can take down so easily. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying if he doesn't be careful, Duffy can knock him out.
Yeah, I can actually see Duffy winning by knockout here, to be honest.
All right, next one.
Okay, next fight after that, we have Michael Johnson versus Miles Jury.
Michael Johnson.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with this kid. He's a prospect that's coming up.
26 years old, dude.
Yeah. Miles Jury is actually an interesting prospect. He's never actually been past the first round in his pro MMA career.
Dude, he's undefeated right now.
Yeah, Miles Jury, undefeated. And he is a finisher. But Johnson, I mean, he's coming off some big wins. Danny Castillo, Tony Ferguson, all solid guys.
All solid. Good wrestling, dude.
Yeah, really good wrestling. And if you watch his fight against Tony Ferguson, which he took on short notice, he showed some much improved kickboxing, especially kicks to the body. I've been really impressed with Michael Johnson.
Me too.
And I say this every time I do predictions with him. He's a prospect to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay. Next fight after that, we have Leonard Garcia versus Cody McKenzie.
Not an easy one. Leonard Garcia.
You're gonna go with Garcia, huh? Me too. The thing with McKenzie, I mean, all he really has is the McKenzie thing. I mean, he has a really good guillotine, and that's like it. I mean,
you can't, like we said many times, you cannot just depend on one technique and the whole thing. You can stay in the MMA. It doesn't work that way.
The funny thing is, I mean, Garcia has only shown wild brawling and air punching, so he's not exactly the definition of multi-dimensional.
No, he is not. But I think he's a good chance that his air punching, his brawl, gonna knock Cody out.
Yeah, Cody he's not the most durable guy, to be honest. His striking is not that great. His footwork's kind of awkward. He pushes forward a lot. He's always game, but yeah, he's just I see Leonard Garcia winning this one.
Me too.
Okay, next fight after that, Byron Bloodworth fights Eric Perez. Yeah, Perez trains at Jackson, 7-fight win streak.
Good staying out, good BJJ. That's all you need.
Yeah, technically he submitted John Albert, even though Albert didn't tap, but he knocked out Ken Stone in less than a minute in his last fight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And finally, we got flyweights here as John Moraga fights. Oh, this one's pretty good too. Chris Carriaso.
Chris.
You got Chris. You know what? I'm really tempted to pick. I've always been pretty high on this guy. His only losses in bantamweight were to Henan Burrell and like Michael McDonald.
So
I think.
you pick Chris, right?
But I'm picking John Moraga.
You're not picking yourself?
Dude, if you watch his fight against Ulysses Gomez, this guy has some good wrestling as it is.
No, I agree with you. His wrestling is pretty amazing.
But in his last fight, he's just wrestling to keep the fight standing, and he showed some solid kickboxing against Gomez and knocked him out.
I knew you were gonna mention that. And his takedown defense is pretty solid as well.
Right. Why do you got Carriazo, man?
Well, the reason I'm doing that because besides the three fighting winning streak, he has a really good Muay Thai. I like that.
Yeah. His technique's good.
His close fighting. I'm not worried about that. His Muay Thai is strong. His BJJ is very strong. So I depend on those two. But again, I know John is a tough opponent, so this is gonna be a close one.
Yeah, this one should be a close one as well. Definitely a sleeper. That one actually is probably going to be a sleeper fight for sure. Like, a lot of people aren't going to really look forward to it, but I think it's going to turn out to be a good fight.
Me too.
Okay, recap.
All right. Junior Dos Santos.
Okay, Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez. I got Cain Velasquez, and you got Junior Dos Santos.
Yes, Junior Dos Santos all the way.
Costa Philippou versus Tim Boetsch.
Tim Boetsch.
Okay, I got Costa Philippou. Okay, Jim Miller versus Joe Lauzon.
Joe Lauzon.
I got Jim Miller. Okay, Alan Belcher versus Yushin Okami.
Belcher.
Okay, I got Okami. On to the prelims. Chris Lieben fights Carlos Belmala.
Chris Lieben, man.
Chris Lieben here too. Brad Pickett versus Eddie Wineland.
80.
Okay, I got Brad Pickett. Okay, Philip DeFries fights Todd Duffy.
Duffy.
Yep, Duff. And I got the Duff man. Okay, Michael Johnson versus Miles Jury.
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson, yep. Cody McKendy versus Leonard Garcia.
Leonard Garcia.
Leonard Garcia here as well. Byron Bloodworth versus Eric Perez.
Eric Perez.
Eric Perez. And finally, John Moraga versus Chris Carriazo.
Chris, but you don't pick yourself.
I picked John Moraga.
All right, this is a really solid fight. I'm looking forward to see it. It's really fun. It's really interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, the main event is just pretty solid. And like even with the Phil Davis not there, it's still solid.
Yeah, it's still a solid card for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it for our predictions for UFC 155. If you have any comments, just leave them below. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.